Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, reviewing the price action of XRP, what I think is likely to happen next and all that wonderful stuff. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what you're waiting for, check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Let's jump right down into today's technical analysis on XRP. We'll kick things off with the 1 hour time frame. So here we have XRP paired up with USDT using the BitGet spot exchange. As you can see from this side down here, you can see all the different kind of exchanges that we use. All links can be found in the description down below. If you're looking for an exchange to trade on, obviously my go-to at the moment is BitGet, but BitGet are of course going through a KYC process. If you're looking for an exchange that is regulated over in the US and in Canada that is not requiring KYC, then why not check out BTCC? Link is also in the description below. If you don't mind KYC, then obviously you've got things like Binance, Mexi, BitGet, and so many other choices as well. All links are in the description below. And if you do use those links, then you are, of course, eligible up to various different kind of bonuses and rewards depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. And if you do use the affiliate link in the description below, it really does help push or help the channel out massively as well. So let's jump into today's video. So as we can kind of see, if I just bring this down a little bit, right, we are still just ranging sideways here. And we find ourselves in a pretty typical kind of B wave movement, right? This B wave here, okay, with the idea of moving up towards our C wave high, this being 51.767 to 52.410. Now, this is the area that we want to kind of go to, and we have this typical B wave, as in we're kind of triangulating ourselves down. We can kind of see in here, if I just go ahead and just throw in these trend lines, you can see how it's kind of like coming down into a point. We are expecting a break to the upside from this continuation pattern. However, based on our stochastic RSI, I expect we're probably going to be looking at coming back down to the low side of our trend line before we get that run upwards. Okay, so we're bearish probably on the 1 hour time frame for today. At least for the next few hours, I would have thought anyway at the point of recording. We might have a push upwards maybe towards the latter part of the day, but for the most part I suspect we still have further to the downside to go. But obviously before that happens, we go ahead and check this out. We potentially could push that 200 EMA one more time, approximately the 50-cent range. We could probably push that one more time, get rejected there, then come down before we rally. I do expect us to move on up, but I just don't think it's going to happen right away today. Okay, could be wrong, but ultimately that is where it is. So on the hourly chart, I am thinking that we have another test of the lows, probably around the 49-cent after we hit 50. And then once we complete, so basically 50-cent, then 49-cent, then we go up to 51-cent, right? Very, very volatile, but essentially that's kind of how the directions of these markets appear to me to be going, as in we have this little kind of three-wave pattern up, then we're clearly going to have to break this down in a bigger pattern, something to this effect down here. And then once that is complete, all of that will be wrapped up inside a C-wave pattern to the upside, where we look to kind of target out that 51.7-cent range. So all in all, that's kind of where this one sits for me on the smaller time frame. So it's one of those, expect some volatility. I probably wouldn't want to trade XRP here until we get a cleaner break in one of the directions. Otherwise, I think we're just kind of gambling and trying to out, you know, whether we're going to go long, go short, and all that kind of stuff. I'd rather wait for this to kind of complete or get invalidated and then trade the direction afterwards. Let's jump over into the daily time frame. The daily time frame is more consistent with our kind of ideas, or the structures there are very obvious in comparison to that of the hourly time frame. So here we are expecting a move to the downside on our 1 day time frame. Okay, so here you can see that we have our 5th wave expectation down on this low side. This happens to be a 3rd wave expectation as well. So you can see wave 5 waves nested inside the wave 3. Our target for this at the moment sits at 35.174 to 39.214. And, you know, we might break up a little bit, as I said, but ultimately we'll get rejected on our daily 200 EMA. So I'm not expecting price to go above 52.340. And again, we have the 50 EMA above that as well, which is on a path to cross down lower than the 200. So at the moment, short-term price is higher than the long-term price. That can be seen as bullish. However, the EMAs are on a path to cross, meaning that the short-term price action on an EMA basis is likely to cross lower than the 200 EMA, the longer-term price action, essentially giving us that kind of bearish signal. Essentially, our pattern from Elliott Wave theory is telling us that we are likely to see a move to the downside anyway, and we can see that this is probably a couple of weeks off before crossing. So that cross is only going to reflect what's already happened. So essentially here, this path that we find ourselves on is unfortunately quite a bearish one. Once we, of course, move down into the lows at around 35.39 cents, I would expect a bounce upwards. That will happen after the cross, I would have thought, and then we move down again, moving more towards 30 to 33.9. Now, obviously, this is rather bearish, right? And we are bearish on the time frame here. Now, if we want to be bullish on the market, what do we need to see? Okay, this is really important because essentially we can be very black on white about these things. We can be bearish because our structure is bearish, but the structure in itself can change. It can morph and it can adapt into something different. And for that to happen, we have to see the price action move higher than 67.5 cent before we come down to the 35.39 cent range, as in this wave 4 cannot and is not allowed to cross the wave 1, which it would do if it went higher than 67.5, right? So we know that if we want to break our structure, that's what the bulls are going to be trying to do. They're going to be trying to push the price action high enough to create an invalidation of this structure. Okay, however, I think that's incredibly unlikely to happen, and as such, we are more than likely going to complete this down at 35.39 cent. So that is kind of where we sit on our daily time frame. We're bearish unless proven otherwise, and at the moment we have nothing here to kind of give us the idea that we're going to break out of this structured move to the downside at the moment. This will bring us over into the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame hit our weekly high expectations. We were targeting out 93.76. We went to 93.8. Okay, so we completed our C wave pattern, and I'll just zoom out so you guys can see. We had the 3-wave pattern here. We had the 3-wave subcount internally, and we completed everything that we needed to do right here. This also happened to be, out of our entire bear market structure here, a 38.2% retracement as well. So everything kind of lined up quite nicely. We were hoping that we'd find good support at 52 to 58 cent. We did not. We broke that. In fact, we have now closed weekly below our 50 EMA. That happened last week, and we are now still below our 50 EMA here on the weekly time frame as well. That comes in at 50.81 cent. So what's going to happen? Well, the bulls and the bears are going to be fighting it out, okay, for direction of the market. They want control over which direction to take the price action into. Ultimately, the bulls are going to be looking to try to get back above that 50 EMA on the weekly time frame at 50.81 cents. So they're going to try to rally the price up to that high, get the weekly close at the end of the day just above 50.81. That would give them some credibility and some strength for next week. The bears, on the other hand, are going to be trying to make sure that we close another weekly candle below the 50 EMA, and if they can, they're going to want to take the price down lower, more towards 47.95. A weekly close below 47.95 would basically give the bears a lot of strength in their direction and give them control over the market for the following week, at least in my opinion. Ultimately, I do not suspect that we are likely to drop that low this quickly. So I do not think that the weekly close will be below 47.95. I think there's a stronger possibility that the bulls can take the price up to 50.81 for the weekly close. However, it is going to be a struggle because the bears are going to fight it like hell. So we'll keep a close eye on it, but ultimately, whatever happens by the close of today, we'll end up with a weekly candle closed, and we'll know where that might mean for the following week. Ultimately, we're sandwiched between the 50 and the 200 EMA. If we close below the 50 EMA, I think the bears will gain ever so slightly more control over the market for XRP. However, if the bulls do push this up a little bit higher, then I do suspect that that's going to give the bulls a little bit more confidence in the market next week. But again, I do think it's going to be short-lived. Unless we break the structure, I am unfortunately bearish on the price action of XRP for the time being. Of course, things can change and adapt, and we'll adapt to those as they crop up. Guys, I'm going to wrap this video up right there though, guys. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and if you do or haven't yet joined us in Discord, why not check it out, linked in the description below. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.